Oh. Yeah, stay healthy. Got a gallon the other day?
Bigger than that.
Well, I will say hi and
Finally.
yeah.
All right. Up front?
Forgot that.
You get it.
We have
6.
7.
Who am I missing? Yeah. Zayden, I didn't know if Zayden was sitting there with us the whole time.
Yep.
Or not. I just didn't
I mean, we
think
can ask.
I
He
didn't
doesn't-
think he'd be comfortable. That's why.
I can ask him if he would rather not then.
Thanks, man.
Whatever. All we need somebody to tell me.
Follow Mark.
Oh, listen to that.
It's 98% stable for any city moment. Okay, you're gonna.
You might come.
Good evening. Officers and members of the audience, would you please rise for the posting of our nation's colors and remain standing through the national anthem.
Okay, forward, one. Okay, mark time, mark. Ready, halt. Left, feet. Present, arm.
Officers, please hand salute. Civilians, hand over your arm.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor guard. Post the cup.
I would like to introduce our singer for the evening for our national anthem. Retired Lieutenant Mike Malcolm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Forward, march.
Everyone, please take your seats. Please welcome Chaplain Lucy Basler for the invitation.
Let us quiet our hearts. Let us. Is this my?
Continue, let our hearts rest. We are gathered together this evening to remember those police officers who have given their lives for our safety. As we give thanks and honor for their sacrifices, let us keep in mind their families and friends who continue to remember them, the absence of their loved ones. Throughout this service and our lives, let us honor and give thanks for the daily, unselfish sacrifices our local officers face. For these things we pray. Amen.
Good evening. My name is Chris Spate. I will be your host for the evening. First and foremost, I would like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for coming out and showing respect and support for our fallen officers, the loved ones left behind, and the officers still serving. Thank you for allowing your Burnett County law enforcement team to serve you. I would like to introduce our first speaker for opening remarks. He has been serving the citizens of Burnett County since 2012. He has served in several capacities during his 13 years of public service. Webster Police and Fire Department, Grantsburg Police Department, and St. Croix Travel Police Department. Please welcome St. Croix Travel Police Chief Donnie Holmes.
So 62 years ago, on October 1st, 1962, President Kennedy signed into law that May 15th of each year will be known as Peace Officers Memorial Day. So today on that day, we gather to reflect on courage, character, and legacy. Today we honor the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. These officers dedicated their lives to ensuring safety and protecting the communities that they served. Today we honor an unwavering commitment to service and the impact they leave behind, which will continue to be remembered and honored for eternity. Today is a reminder of the extraordinary dedication and selflessness required to be in law enforcement. In honoring these fallen officers, we must also remember the families and friends that they leave behind. Let us extend the support, comfort, and our deepest sympathies to them. Their resilience and unity demonstrate the strength of a law enforcement community. And let us reaffirm the values that these fallen officers have upheld: justice, integrity, and service. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Holmes. Master Aiden Paul, would you please bring forward the memorial wreath? Roll call. Burnett County fallen officers, gone but not forgotten. May they rest in peace. Paul R. Gramer, end of watch, November 20th, 1968. Richard F. Chinsey, end of watch, October 17th, 1974. Alan A. Albee, end of watch, April 19th, 1991. Michael Severson, end of watch, April 14th, 2014. The world of law enforcement evolves every day. It evolves in new case law, policies, after-action reviews of the most recent triumphs and tragedies. What does not change, what does not waver, are the dangers law enforcement officers face every day. According to Officer Down Memorial, 58 officers lost their lives in the line of duty during 2024. That's 58 Christmases that will look different in 2024. 138 officers did not return home at the end of their shift during the calendar year of 2023. For friends and families, partners of these fallen heroes, you lose more than just your +1. You lose part of who you are. You lose your partner in making memories. Rest in peace, Conservation Officer Eugene Wing, my partner, end of watch, April 19th, 2019. Excuse me. With the statistics I've just spoke of, the day, May 15th, which is designated as Police Officer Memorial Day, will have a whole new meaning for friends and family members of the fallen officers who are now heroes. Friends and family members of these heroes heard the 3 words they never hoped to hear. End of watch. To provide further perspective of what it's like to be a family member of a law enforcement officer, I would like to introduce our student speaker, Master Zayden Wadid.
Good evening. I'm Zayden. I'm going to be talking to you about what it's like to grow up with a family member in law enforcement. Before I get to that, I'd like to thank all the officers that risk their lives every day to make the world a better place. I'd especially like to thank all the officers that died in the line of duty and their families who had to go through the loss of their loved ones. I was asked to speak tonight on what it's like growing up with a mom being in law enforcement. I'm here to tell you that growing up with a mom being an officer in my family for my sister and I was normal. It was our kind of normal. My mother has been in law enforcement since before I was born. Her missing holidays, birthdays, and other special occasions was normal. Having a firearm in every room of our home was normal. Friends messing with us because our mom was an officer was normal. I just made sure the friends I made accepted what my mom did for her career and got to know her as a person. I also learned how to check the parents of my friends on Wisconsin Circuit Court access because I knew my mom would be checking them out if I wanted my friends to come over or I wanted to go to their houses. I can stand here and keep repeating what those who stood up here before me have stated, but I want to add some things that haven't been spoken about. Due to my mother being in law enforcement and the dangers that go along with it, the position I was taught to cherish the moments, to be thankful to God for the time that I did get to share with my family, and not take each day for granted. I learned to love with all my heart and learn to be mature about things at an early age. I learned to talk to my parents if I had an issue and learned how to problem solve. I learned to stand up for what I believe in as long as I was following the laws and was polite about it. I learned that I did not have to agree with something just because someone else did. I learned at a young age that I had a resource that most other children didn't. I had someone on my side to tell me what would happen if I did something legally wrong. I also learned to trust that if something was wrong, I could turn to anyone with a badge and they'd be there for me in a time of need. I also learned to trust even if I was speeding or doing something I shouldn't be, those in law enforcement would be there for me whether I wanted them or not. To end my speech, I want to give an example of how a law enforcement officer, or should I say my mom, was there for me even when I didn't expect it. One time I had a few buddies spending the night at my house and we were bored, so we decided to take a walk. My parents have an app on my phone that tells my location. My mom must have felt that we were up to no good. I'm not sure if it was the cop in her or just her being my mom. But she hopped in her squad and went around the block without us knowing and stopped down the road until we reached the highway. It was getting pretty dark and all of a sudden we saw a vehicle coming over the hill. As we were fooling around by the highway, lifting up our shirts over our head, lights flipped on. We were so scared we ran into the field and hid. My mom pulled her squad up to the field, laughed, and yelled at us, "Come out of the brush." As she was laughing, first she asked why we ran. Then she stated to never run from the cops because you will always get caught. That was a lesson taught and a lesson learned that night. Will not be repeated, and I'm so thankful the off-duty cop that night was only my mom being her normal self. Thank you.
Thank you, Zayden. That was terrific perspective, and your mom knew you were going to be up to no good because that's what us young boys do. We're up to no good. That's just part of the game. I might know something about it. I'd like to introduce Caitlin Robin, who will be singing Officer Down.
Red and blue lights cover 75 like a train. Miles of cars full of people with nothing to say. Think that sometimes it's just another November day. Oh, and I can't help but be mad knowing I leave, you're gonna stay. He called me on his cell phone telling me there's an officer down. And I prayed for a miracle, but you didn't come back around. Oh, I kissed you goodbye 1,000 times, but never like I'm doing right now. Oh, we're 21 shots going up for the officer down. I begged you to throw out that t-shirt that I sleep in now. Badge number 457, it's all over town. People keep asking if there's anything they can do, but no one can give me back you. They called me on a cell phone telling me there's an officer down. And I prayed for a miracle, but you didn't come back around. Oh, I kissed you goodbye 1,000 times, but never like I'm doing right now. Oh, we're 21 shots going up for the officer down. I held on tight when they told me it's time to let go. And I knew that somehow you knew that you weren't alone. They called me on my cell phone, it's my officer down. I talked to you and begged you, but you never come back around. Oh, I kissed you goodbye 1,000 times, but never like I'm doing right now. Oh, we're 21 shots going up. I wish you had more time with us, 'cause 33 years ain't enough for the officer down.
Thank you, Caitlin. That was beautiful. Our keynote speaker will be next. He started his law enforcement career in 2006. He worked from the barren deserts of New Mexico to the northern forests of Wisconsin. Please help me welcome our keynote speaker, retired Deputy Mark Peterson.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mark Peterson. I'm a retired deputy with the Burnett County Sheriff's Department. My career in law enforcement allowed me to work for 7 different agencies in 2 different states, where I served as a correctional officer, a police officer, a tribal officer, and as a sheriff's deputy. During my years of service in those agencies, you meet a lot of coworkers, from dispatch, EMS, fire, corrections, probation, and fellow law enforcement. A lot of those coworkers have different characteristics, personalities, and opinions. Not to mention the characteristics, personalities, and opinions of the community whom we interact with daily and serve. It can be a struggle and oftentimes very frustrating. I was fortunate enough to have the gift of gab. I can relate and communicate with almost anyone. Whether I agree with their point of view or not, I learned early in my career there is a difference in understanding with someone and agreeing with someone. I also been known to tell a few stories of my own to ease the tension or relax the person or persons. I also found carrying a pack of cigarettes while on duty can be the difference in getting your uniform dirty or torn in a physical altercation or getting compliance during an arrest. We as law enforcement officers go through hours of training on how to handle most situations with physical and verbal tactics to remedy a critical situation to the best of our abilities. Unfortunately, on July 2nd, 2022, my gift of gab and training was put to the test, and the worst phrase to ever hear over the radio, shots fired, were spoken. Many coworkers in the community were affected that day, and for them, I cannot speak. But for me, it changed my life forever. This is my story. No one ever knows how a traumatic event will affect you, and as a law enforcement officer, you encounter a lot of them. Most of them affect you in some sort of way, but that's part of the job. It's why we do this profession. It's why others cannot. It's why we run towards danger when others run away. It's why we put our lives on the line and unfortunately have officer down ceremonies like this. We take the drama and we eat it up. We push it down and we only talk about it with fellow coworkers. On July 2nd, my trauma could not push down any longer. My body refused to accept it, but my mind was trying to tell me something. Following the required blood draw that day, I returned home to sit in the dark and dwell on the event and my current situation. My stress level was high, and my mind was running with the what now and the what ifs. I knew it wouldn't take long for the incident to be on all media, including social media. I need to call my loved ones and inform them of the incident. And calling your mother, who raised you and taught you right from wrong, and explain to her what had just happened. To the toughest part of all, calling your daughter to explain what had happened and worrying that my little girl would now get bullied in school for what her dad had done. My stress level was high, and my mind was still running with the what ifs and the what now. I was an emotional mess, from anger to remorse, back to anger. What did I do wrong? Did I say the right things? What could I have done better? And did I do the right thing? Then guilt set in. What if I go to jail? What if I get sued? What if I lose my job? in my house? What about the department? Did I leave a black eye for the Burnett County Sheriff's Department? Will they be investigated by the DOJ? Will protesters be showing up at the doorsteps with news cameras? And did I let everyone down? Your friends and family reach out to you for much needed support, but you still worry and stress about your life, and sleep is minimal. The next few weeks come and go. You're still stressed about the situation. You cannot sleep with your mind not being right, and the nightmares that you never had since you were 5 years old are scaring you and making you not want to sleep. The boogeyman is not real. He is not coming through that door. Or is he? The investigation concludes. The district attorney clears you. Good shoot, good shoot. You did the right thing. Some folks call you a hero. Okay, good news, right? You tell your sheriff you're okay and you're ready to go to work. You think if you get back to work, and this will all go away. Yep, back with the boys. We'll put it back to normal. Finally get some sleep, no nightmares, no more stress. You just need to get back out there, take calls, and put this incident behind you. Move on. But things do not go back to normal. The nightmares do not go away. Sleep deprived continues. And you do not want anyone to know. Because you can beat this on your own. Push it down. Man up. It's just another trauma. It's just taking longer than the others. It will just take time. Plus, you're back to work. Keep your mind off things. But every dispatch call, every click of the mic, your mind races. How will I react? Can I handle the situation? Will I freeze up? Is my mind strong enough to handle the stress? Where has my confidence gone? I'm Superman. I've been doing this job for years. What am I worried about? The days turn into weeks. And you never get back to normal. Back to work is not the normal you were hoping for. The stress may have increased, and you are now going days without any sleep. Sometimes as much as a week. You're feeling exhausted and alone and in fear of not being able to handle your stress and control of your own mind. But you don't tell anyone, because that is not what cops do. And that's definitely not what I do. Finally, your body's had enough. And decide, since you are in denial and won't help yourself with your mental health, it shuts down. Next thing you know, you're in a helicopter ride to a medical facility. The medical professionals at the medical facility determine you have severe nerve damage in your brain from trauma due to work-related stress. Now things just got real. The nerve damage has caused limitations that affect you physically. You have visual, hearing, speech, and balance limitations, resulting in some surgery. You need the assistance of others to help walk, and you're not able to drive a motor vehicle. You thought you had stress before. Now you're going to rehab for speech and learn how to walk again. You have several doctor's appointments weekly. resulting in needing to find reliable transportation to and from these appointments. The physicians are prescribing medications to assist in your recovery, but the medications only seem to make things worse. You're not sleeping. And now your physicians have referred you to see a psychiatrist. Why is this happening? Why am I being punished? I thought I did the right thing. Guess I'm not Superman anymore. You find yourself alone, confined to your residence, sitting in a chair, trying to watch TV to get your mind off the stress of not knowing if you'll ever get back to work. Let alone will you ever be normal again, physically or mentally. You again begin to think about the future. Will you lose your home? Do you have to file bankruptcy now? Will you get sued? And now you have the financial stress. You are spending money on medications and travel expenses to follow the care plan they set up. But at what cost to you? You meet with a psychiatrist. You're skeptical at first. You think to yourself, what does he know about me? He's not in law enforcement, and I'm not crazy. I don't need a shrink, and I can handle this on my own. But if you want to get back to work, you better jump through the hoops. After a few minutes of listening to this doctor, you find yourself nodding your head. You ask yourself, how's he know I'm not sleeping? And how's he know about the nightmares? And that I can't control my mind? He informs you that you have a condition called post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Wait a minute, I thought PTSD was for military veterans. He explains to you that as an officer, you can have several traumatic events, and they build up over the years and will affect your mental health. He informs you that PTSD is very common with law enforcement officers, and he has treated several clients who work law enforcement as well as military personnel. The doctor starts talking to you, and he asks you about some of the traumatic events that you've encountered while being in law enforcement over the years, which probably 70% of this room is. You inform him of the times like carrying a 13-year-old unconscious female to an ambulance with a needle hanging out of her arm from a drug overdose. Or knocking on a door at 2 a.m. to inform a parent their child is deceased, and hold the parent as they fall into your arms, yelling and crying. Performing CPR on a burn victim, while their family is screaming at you to save them. Investigating a traffic crash with deceased minors, similar to your own child's age. Suicides involving a firearm, where you just want to ask yourself, why? Recovering 5 unknown decapitated males from the desert with their hands and feet tied. Yes, monsters are real. Being in a physical life or death altercation with 2 gang members who are not going back to prison. Skating across a blood-soaked kitchen floor, trying to give first aid to a robbery victim who had his throat slashed. And shooting another human being who points a loaded firearm at you. The list goes on and on. The doctor informed you that all the trauma builds up through your career And the latest incident on July 2nd was the straw that broke the camel's back. Your mind decided enough was enough and shut down. Doctor informs me I have a severe case of PTSD and recommends regular therapy treatments and, of course, medication to help me sleep. Due to the new information and physical condition you are in, you speak to an attorney and you file a workman's compensation claim due to the recommendation of your healthcare professionals. Workman's comp provider denies your claim, saying it wasn't work-related, and denies you having PTSD over an alleged incident. Oh, great. More stress. How's that sleeping going? But I thought I did the right thing. You continue going to the medical appointments and follow the physician's recommendations for treatment and begin to improve enough that your doctor allows you to come back to work light duty. All right, I'm back with the boys. This definitely helped my healing process, being included and treated like an actual sheriff's deputy. Of course, there was some restrictions, like limited bathroom breaks, limited storytelling, and snack breaks at 10 and 2. This allowed me some peace of mind and something to definitely look forward to daily. I continue the light duty in the rehabilitation as well as meeting with your psychiatrist. It does shrink. The medication you prescribe for sleep makes you feel goofy in the head. Goofy in the head. And still doesn't give you the rest your body needs. You're worried the lack of sleep will further damage your body and mind. And now you have bills piling up and bill collectors calling you asking for payments due to the workman's comp denial. Then your physicians inform you, due to your PTSD and permanent physical limitations, they cannot allow you to return to work as a law enforcement officer. But I thought I did the right thing. Why am I being punished? One of the hardest things I ever had to do was tell Sheriff Finch that I can no longer be in law enforcement, and I had to leave the department. I just can't seal that out anyway. For me, it was more of a mental letdown. Law enforcement was all I knew for years. And I felt like I was pretty damn good at it. Now what? Retirement? I wasn't sure what to do next. Or what I could do next. I knew I had physical limitations that restricted me from doing a lot of jobs, and I was not even close to getting my mental health under control. I again relied on my attorney, coworkers, and Sheriff Finch on possible options. With their help and support from Burnett County, I received the best possible outcome for my situation. A lot of other agencies would not have went to bat for me or been as supportive. I worked for 7 of them, so I know. We are fortunate to work for a good county like Burnett and to have supportive community that believes in their law enforcement and to work for a great sheriff's department. I hope my story helps someone in this room to understand mental health is real. And it can affect you after or during your career in law enforcement. Some folks can handle trauma and stressful situations better than others. I thought I was Superman. But it affects everyone differently. I still haven't completely come to terms that I'm no longer in law enforcement and that my part of life is over. I still try to follow the department's social media. I occasionally make an unsupervised visit at the sheriff's department during potlucks. And I still rubberneck anytime I hear sirens. I had a member of the community ask me the other day if I missed being in law enforcement. Whew. Man, do I ever. I can't read now. I loved being a deputy sheriff. And I hope when others, or members of the community, hear the name Deputy Peterson, they say he was one of the good ones. I'm still healing mentally, as you can tell. And I know I will have physical limitations that I will have to deal with for the rest of my life. But if I could turn back time, would I do it all over again? Damn right I would. Love you guys. Thank you.
I have never walked in Mark's shoes, but I can tell you the level of bravery it takes to tell a story like that. Big guy, hats off to you. Thank you, Mark. If we change one life with the stories and the situations and the things we talk about here, just one, all well worth it. Crying, blubbering, wiping our noses, as far as I'm concerned, I'll do it every day for you. Deputy Peterson talked about an event that created scars that you can't see. They don't heal. Nobody talks about them. Nobody asks about them because there's no cast on your arm. There's no, crutches to limp around with. Can't go have surgery to get that fixed. Doesn't exist. They affect every portion of your life, and it can affect you at any given time. You don't know what that trigger will be. That makes you emotionally unstable or affects you where you can no longer function. In 2019, First Help began collecting suicide data on first responders, including law enforcement, corrections, firefighters, emergency medical personnel, and 911 telecommunicators. In 2024, this calendar year, 43 public heroes could no longer handle the pain of their invisible scars. During the calendar year of 2023, 167 frontline fighters no longer had the strength to continue their fight. During 2023, the Badger State alone lost 3 public protectors. I've said it every chance I've been able to stand up here and get your attention. Don't let your brothers and sisters suffer in silence. Be the person who breaks the silence and refuses to allow anyone unnecessary suffering and death. There is a song and a video that I believe will sum it up, and it'll play following me. Don't allow there to be secrets that everybody knows. It's a song by Tyler Brayton.
There's an old train track goes back by the old mill, where the more slip away every day of the whiskey still. They still shine by the bottle 4 or 5 every Saturday. Behind old Red's Tavern, but you didn't hear that from me. 'Cause we all act like we don't know what Dave got his money for a fishing pole. The zip code don't come cheap in this day and time. And we all turn the other way, 'cause we've got bills that we can't pay. It's a small town, and we know how it goes. It's just another secret that everybody knows. Oh, man, Randy spent his days at the local store. He pays for a little, but sometimes leaves with more. But he's always got a story about his boy shipped overseas. It hasn't been the same since, so he let it be. And we all act like we don't know that he ain't got nowhere to go, 'cause he's too proud to beg for a handout. And we all turn the other way, 'cause there ain't that much left to say. It's a small town, and we know how it goes. It's just another secret that everybody knows. Well, this simple life ain't as easy as it sounds, 'cause we've all got things that we don't talk about. Like Jenny had a baby last spring, now she's all alone. 'Cause old man Randy's boy, he ain't coming home. Now she drinks from a bottle she got behind the wrist. She can't get the sight of him leaving out of her head. And we all act like we don't know. She comes into Sunday school with a smiling baby boy in her arms. And we all turn the other way, say bless their hearts, and we just pray. It's a small town, and we know how it goes. It's just another secret that everybody knows. It's just another secret that everybody knows.
I personally think they call them artists for a reason. We touched on a lot in that song specific to what Mark had spoken about. For our next presenter, special presentation, let me introduce Captain Julie Meek.
Okay, that's better. As everybody's been speaking tonight about the people that have touched our lives, I wanted to give a special presentation to Chaplain Lucy Basler. I met Lucy 23 years ago. I was young and dumb, and she was a mentor and a friend to our law enforcement community. Lucy was one of our founding members of the chaplain program back in 2001. She's tutored and mentored a lot of staff that's come through our office. She's gone on ride-alongs with us. I terrified her with my bald tires at one point in her life. But she's been there for all of us and the community. She's been a major part of our hospice program. She has a location called the Sacred Grove for people to come and relax and commune with nature. She's been a big proponent of green funerals and volunteered countless hours just for the community. So, since this will be her last memorial service with us, she's going to be moving out to Pennsylvania. We'd like to present her with a gift certificate. So we figured that she would have enough to move out to Pennsylvania, so we bought her a gift certificate so that she could buy some flowers or a tree in her new home. So this is a gift certificate to a garden nursery in Pennsylvania. It's to represent the growing in faith and your strength within your new community. So thank you from all of us for everything that you've done.
I think close will count for this last little bit. Thank you, Captain Meade. Please welcome Chaplain Arnie Ensler, who will be giving the benediction.
For some odd reason, I feel like we've been in church tonight. There's been a particular spirit that's touched us and moved us. The service has ended, but the serving continues. As we leave this place, where we were reminded of respect and honor and remembering the law enforcement community. Particularly, we remember the particular persons whose lives were lost serving us. In this area, their names: Alan Elby, Mike Severson, Richard Shinzing, and Paul Gramer. Let us not forget that they were husbands, and they were fathers, and they were community heroes who served and whose deaths never allowed them to experience much of what others enjoy. Remember their ultimate sacrifice. Let us say together these words: we remember. Let us also remember those beyond our community, even in the next county and beyond, those distant from us, yet close to our hearts and minds as law enforcement personnel and first responders were endangered and some lost their lives, especially this last year. We remember, and again, more than our words, let us also remember the present-day officers, deputies, police, those called and serve us each day in ways we often take for granted. May they know our support, our gratitude. Let us not forget and let them hear again, as we say again. Let us also be aware and remember the family members who send them off each day, knowing and not knowing, and to wait for their safe return. We remember, and above all and overall, let them and let all of us remember and know the blessing and the presence of Almighty God, who protects, guides, provides. May we be filled with and go with the peace that comes from beyond our efforts, surpasses our understanding, and let us trust the Spirit that holds us together as communities, as families, holds us together as individuals with a power and a love that casts out all fear. And again we say, we remember. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Our final speaker of the evening has been serving the citizens of Burnett County since March of 1989. It is my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Tracy Finnish.
I want to start by thanking all of you who are here and watching online. Our law enforcement family truly appreciates all of the community love and support we receive. Thank you for honoring our fallen heroes. Their sacrifices will never be forgotten. I want to send a huge thank you to the following people: Alicia Cederberg, who's in the back, Captain Julie Mead, who plan and organize this event. You guys do such a great job. Donnie Holmes for your opening remarks. Chris Spade for being our MC. You will have this assignment as long as you will accept it, sir. Chaplains Arnie and Lucy for your words of inspiration. Zayden for your excellent speech. Mike and Caitlin for your beautiful and moving music. Aiden Paul for presenting the wreath. Deputy Kruger and Colton Wiltrout for playing taps, which you will be hearing shortly, and our honor guard. I'm also grateful to the Adventure Church for allowing us to host the event here and providing the technology support, to our Citizens Auxiliary for the refreshments that we hope you'll join us for after this service, and also thank you to the We Are Network for live streaming this event for us. Lucy, thank you for your many dedicated years of service to law enforcement. You have provided comfort to many and impacted us more than you will ever know. You are a dear friend with a kind heart and a great sense of humor. I wish you many years of happiness in Pennsylvania. We will miss you. Mark, thank you for your honesty and telling your story. You are a true hero, and we will always have you in our family. You are revered for your dedication, self-sacrifice, and courage. I came across a quote by an unknown author that reminded me of you. A true warrior fights not because he hates someone in front of him, but because he loves the ones behind him. Mark loves his fellow officers and his community, and he has sacrificed a great deal for them. 2023 was a difficult year for law enforcement in Northwest Wisconsin particularly. We lost 3 heroes in a little over a month. Please keep their families, friends, and law enforcement families in your prayers as their names were just added to the wall, the memorial wall in Washington, D.C. I had the pleasure of working with Richard Shinzing's son, Jeff, and Paul Gramer's son, Glenn. Jeff and Glenn are wonderful men and officers. Richard and Paul would be very proud. I was honored to work with Alan Albee for a couple of very short years. He taught me a lot, and I still miss him greatly to this day. I spoke with Mike Severson several times and was always happy to chat with him. He was truly an inspiration to all of us as well. Upon completion of TAPS, the program is concluded. Thank you all for honoring those officers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. They will never be forgotten. Please exit quietly and join us in the Commons area for refreshments and camaraderie following TAPS. Thank you.